They're still wanting to put Pleasure Craft through together. We don't want to get stuck getting there later than everyone and missing the lockage for today. So we're usually awake at this time anyway, so decided that as soon as it's first light, which it isn't yet, that we're going to get going.
We're Chris and Sandra. We started America's Great Loop in July of 2023, but it all started in 2022 when we bought a boat we named Thataway. On a foggy May morning last year, we said goodbye to Port Dover and headed down Lake Erie through the Welland Canal and onto Lake Ontario. We had a summer of fun boat projects and explored Lake Ontario and the famous Canadian Heritage Canal System, the Trent Severn Waterway. We spent the spring of 2023 overhauling the galley of Thataway, and we took off in July, even though we have lots more to do. Join two not-so-young kids as we make our way around the 6,000-mile loop of North American waters. The big attraction in Grand Rivers is, of course, Paddy's 1880s settlement. Started in 1975 by the Teller family, this settlement gradually grew from a motel to dining and to entertainment. You can find a miniature golf, gold mining, goldfish watching, many boutiques, and the famous Paddy's restaurant, which we didn't go to. The meals were huge and we hadn't walked enough to be able to eat there. The little grocery store. A little expensive.
Right, so it went down to -2 Celsius last night, and it was a little slippery. It is very slick. So there's a little bit of frost on the railings are actually icy. And the dock is a bit slippery. The lines got a little frost on them. But it is supposed to warm up. And we are getting treated to amazing sunrise. So it's supposed to be like this the next couple mornings when we're in Nashville, but we're not too worried about it. I think given that it might be sunny, we're going to leave the windows open, the screens open, not screens, the blinds, so that it gets some heat during the day. Maybe that'll hold it.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm out here just across the street from the Country Music Hall of Fame. Yep, we're in Nashville. We were here in January for my birthday, but I really wanted to come back. There's a lot about the city that I really wanted to see. So we're back. We opted not to bring the boat. We were going to, but then I decided that it's been too long since I'd been off the boat in sleeping in a nice bed. So we rented a car and we came down for a few days. When we came in January for my birthday, we really stuck to Broadway, which is where all the honky-tonk bars are, and had a great time. But this time we wanted to get off the beaten path a bit, so we've bought tickets to some out-of-the-way places. We went to the Listening Room Cafe, I guess, and listened to some songwriters play their own music. Tonight we're going to another band in the basement. Couldn't find stuff going on at the Bluebird. And then we're just trying to have a nice dinner wherever we may be. So I do have footage from last January, which I'll share here. Anyway, we really like it here. We decided that taking the boat would take too long. I wanted to sleep in a nice fluffy bed. And we are going back to Grand Rivers, Green Turtle Bay tomorrow, and from there we're leaving on Saturday. So we'll have a day to reprovision and do a few things, and then we're off again down, heading south, hopefully to escape a little bit of the cold weather. Beginning to have a love-hate relationship with these headsets. Have you turned the bath restaurant down there?
No. Unless I didn't turn it off.
I think I checked it. So that needs to be always in both directions now. Shall we pair?
Yeah. Mine's on.
Just a minute.
Hello.
I guess I'll tap, or we're going to do it on your set.
I tapped.
That seemed to come on, so that good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go out then.
Okay.
So we just make sure that the dinghy is still secure. The swim platform is up. Should be, but you never know. And just make sure everything, the lines are good. We're just going over to get a pump out right now, but we're going to be taking off after that, so we need to do all our usual checks now.
Cool, brother.
So headed down Kentucky Lake, the Tennessee River. Any thoughts so far this morning?
Yeah, it's been pretty calm. I mean, it's a lake as opposed to a river at this point, and it looks like there's lots of really cool anchorages all over the place. I'm just tapping there because somebody's pulled in. I'm not sure if we're seeing so much beach because it's low, or it's just there's a lot of beach here, but it looks really nice. It must be quite the destination in the summer.
This is probably among the most chop we've had since we left Lake Michigan. I guess coming up the Ohio was pretty choppy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not bad.
I mean, the wind is going in the direction of the current, so I imagine it could be a lot worse.
Well, we're going upriver, right?
Yeah, but the wind's coming this way.
Paris Landing Marina, Paris Landing Marina. This is motor vessel that away, over. 116.
This is Paris Landing Marina.
We're just rounding the last red buoy by the bridge. Do you have directions for us? Over.
When you enter the harbor to the left of our fuel pier, there is transient dockage, 72-foot uncovered slips, and plenty of space for a port side kayak. We'll be looking for you.
Perfect, thank you. That away out. Port tie. I'm going to go out and do a few things. Hello. Good. I'm going to pass the bow to you. I'll see if I can get the stern. You're pinching, but you've... Okay, well, I can't do... Okay, stop it. Slow it down. Slow it down. Hang on, I'm going to get off. Push it away a little bit. It's just a bit tight. Okay, now you can go a bit forward, Chris. Okay, slow it down. Oh, well, pay attention to him because we got lots of room here. He's... Yeah, just keep... Okay. Okay, Yeah, there is no...
Yeah, the cleats are so far apart. There's one there.
Okay, Chris, you're scraping the back here. The fenders have popped out. Just a minute. It's crazy. I can't reach that one back there. The cleat. Hang on. Paris Landing State Park had some really wonderful trails. We were so happy to get off the boat and stretch our legs and get a little bit of cardio. The trailheads were just a very short walk from the marina, and we opted to do the 3.5 mile loop.
So when we left this morning, we could see both of these towers as soon as we got out of the marina. So we figured they were pretty close, but 7 miles later, and we're going to pass under them in the next half mile.
This is the cell phone rig that I got back in January when we were in Georgia, and it was really quite inexpensive, about $40, and I use it a lot for filming. That's what the phone goes into. We also have this gooseneck stand, which we haven't been using as much lately, but I've started using it again just to get the camera up above rail height. But it's a little awkward in here with the buttons on the cell phone. You kind of have to take the camera out to hit a button and then put it back in. So I kind of prefer this one. And they both have really good attachments. Like this one I don't hang over the rail because it's it's a spring-loaded one. But this one has a knob here that you can really tighten down. So when I do shots like this, it's usually in the rig and I'm hanging over the railing. We have very unsophisticated equipment generally because we didn't really want to invest a ton of money into the YouTube channel. We're using our cell phones, and they're pretty good cameras really, but there's times when I wish we had a bigger camera that wasn't the cell phone, because when we're filming with the cell phone we can't actually film us using the cell phones, which is sometimes nice to do if I'm making reservations somewhere or calling ahead for fuel prices or whatever. And we do have the two of them, so technically we could do that, but then often Chris is using the phone for an app or something to do with the boat. So first world problems, but one day I'll dig out the Sony camera that hasn't been ideal for what we're doing, but would give us a little bit more versatility. The cell phone cameras are just so easy. We bought wireless lav mics, these ones, and it was on the recommendation of a news cameraman that we met up with in Chicago, just on the street. Chris started talking to him, so I picked his brain, and they were $60 for the set, and they've just been really fabulous. They've cut down a lot of background noise when we're filming inside the boat, the engine noise, but we seem to misplace them a lot, and up until this week we've managed to find them, but I can't find the second one now, and I think it might be somewhere in Grand Rivers. It was on my jacket lapel when we were in the little downtown, and then when we got back to the boat, at some point when we got back to the boat I noticed that I couldn't find it, so it's either still on the boat or somewhere between the two. So our dinghy hasn't seen a lot of action lately. Last time I think was when we were at Lower Henry Island and we zipped into Henry to check it out. We haven't used the upper helm very much lately either, mostly because it's been too cold in the mornings. We did use the barbecue a couple days ago. Chris forgot to put the top back on, probably because it was hot when he stopped using it, and then we just forgot. We'll do that now. is aimed at you. Pretty sure it'll blow a hole right through a person. Johnsonville State Historic Park is a day-use park named after Andrew Johnson. This almost 1,100-acre park commemorates the site of the Johnsonville Depot, the Battle of Johnsonville, and the historic town site of Johnsonville that existed from 1864 until 1944. The town site was flooded when Kentucky Lake was formed. So you've got room behind you if you need to back up a little bit. I don't know if you heard me.
No, it's not working.
Well, let's turn them off. Turn it off.
Can you reseat your thing?
Yeah, but can you turn yours off? Morning. Sorry, I was untangling my cord and I tapped the hull of your boat and made a little noise.
Ah, it's fine.
The thing went banging on
You
it.
guys need a hand?
Want a hand, Chris? Sure, we were just trying to get going here with the headsets.
Did you pair it?
I just did it. Okay, turn it right off again.
Is yours off?
It's off.
Problem.
Well, we had one fail in the first month, but they replaced it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it just doesn't pair, and
We have the exact same,
it's very annoying.
exact same
So it seems to be one headset sometimes, and then
One is, I think, dominant and one's not. And you got to keep up with which one.
yeah, and then a couple times our mics have fallen out. I almost lost one of them. Okay, I'm gonna turn mine back on. Okay, mine's on. Do you want to try pairing or do you want me to do it? Okay, so mine's on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okie dokie. Are you all right, Chris?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get
Okay, well, tell me when you're ready, because we've got so much time, it's not funny. Ready? Good morning.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just getting the lines done up here. Okay, so the spring is on. Let's get the bow here.
I'll be glad to tell you why.
Okay,
You have a system in place.
we do, but
You don't have to jump.
it's not sophisticated or anything. So we have the bow thruster, so it's easy to control the front.
Yeah.
Okay, the bow is on, Chris. We might go to an anchorage, Lick Creek. It's apparently only for one boat, but we'll see what happens. Otherwise, we'll go to Perryville. Okay, Chris, I'm about pushed off as I can on the back. Yeah, just let me get the fending pole. Yeah, you're good. You could come back a bit if you needed to. By the time I figure out how to get this twist, I don't need it anymore. Oh, there it is. Okay, you're good. You got about 2 or 3 feet of the dinghy. You're going to clear Patrick's boat. That's all we care about. We don't hit other people. Hit our boat, that's fine. All right, see you down the rivers a bit. Yep, you're totally fine. So now it's just follow the markers. Said the channel was about half a mile long. I can't do 20. We're anchored at Lick Creek before Perryville, I think. And we're anchored. And it's beautiful. and it is really hard to believe that I used to have a lot of anxiety over doing this, but a lot of practice and a lot of patience by Chris, and I would say 99% in love with it. And that 1% is only because there are some times at anchor when it's really rough that I'm not too pleased by it.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night.
So where is the main part of the river? On the other side of that little island or on this side? This side. I don't see any markers left at all right now, but
Holding? Yeah, I think it's holding. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. So we've got 100 feet out, which is, I'm gonna say 40 meters. Right. Uh, 17.
we're at Swallow Bluff Island and still without mics. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do about that, but anyway, we haven't been off the boat in 36 hours, so we're going to go find this boat launch and take a little bit of a walk around before we come back for dinner. It's beautiful. It turned out to be a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. A little bit windy when we stopped. Not bad, but it's supposed to die down. Tomorrow's supposed to be a really windy day, though, on our way to Pickwick Dam and to Iuka. What do you think's up there?
Dinner store.
That was from 2010 on Navionics. Terra Firma.
Yeah.
It's probably unfair to say there was nothing to see or do in Saltillo. We just got off the dinghy, walked into town, went down to the end and came back again. I'm sure the locals have a different take on it, but there was some interesting information about a music icon in the community. On the way back to the boat, I convinced Chris to let me knock on the hull of a Pilgrim 40 that was anchored at Swallow's Bluff. We were invited on board by Joe and Janet and got a little bit of a tour of the boat.
Glad you suggested we do that.
It's about 5:15, and the last couple of days we've been really taking it easy. Not getting going until 7:30, 8 sometimes. It's been really nice. But today we have to get through a lock to get to the marina at Iuka. And looking on Nebo, we see some faster boats anchored a little bit ahead of us and some faster boats a little bit behind us. And it's going to be a mad rush to get to the lock. And because they're still wanting to put pleasure craft through together, we don't want to get stuck getting there later than everyone and missing the lockage for today. So we're usually awake at this time anyway, so decided that as soon as it's first light, which it isn't yet, that we're going to get going. So we're just kind of putzing around, and then in a few minutes we'll do the engine check, and then we'll put on the nav lights, and as soon as we see the sun peeking up, off we go. It's going to be a long day, about 47 miles, and we've been running against the current at about 6.5, so we should get to the lock in time to get through, but we're just making sure. I can go make some coffee. In early light, you can't actually turn the cabin lights on, or you can't really see anything. So we wanted to keep a close watch on depth. We didn't want to Henry ourselves like we did a few weeks before when we touched the spit that came out of Henry Island. We weren't terribly worried about it. Chris was retracing his track, so we figured we should be prudent and just keep an eye on it. See how this goes without the mic. So we've been at anchor for a couple of days, and what we do when the battery wears down a little bit or runs down, and it hasn't been that bad. I think the first night it went from 96 down to, I don't know, 89 or something, and then we did a lot of stuff on the boat last night, so this morning it was like 69. But when we're underway, we turn the charger on, so we dump power from the engine into the battery. But what Chris always does is he turns the hot water tank on as well, so that while we're charging the battery we get hot water. So I usually save a few dishes in the morning to do dishes with hot water, because it's a lot easier to do dishes with hot water. Anyway.
This is like one of the best locks we've had.
It's quiet.
Yeah, but we came in,
Yeah.
we didn't even, well,
There've been one or two that we've had that have been pretty easy, but this is, I think, the best just because it hasn't been even turbulent.
I just mean there's no way to get in. And
Kind of dreary here. Just started raining at Aqua Yacht Marina. But wow, my yellow jacket makes up for it. Pretty cheery.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slow.
Thanks for traveling with us this week. Next week we go from Iuka down to Mobile Bay. If you haven't already, please subscribe, ring the bell, and leave your questions and comments. See you next time.
I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down.